Here's what we are watching out in the tropics. We've got two tropical waves. This one further out is likely not going to do anything in the near term. We'll keep an eye on it as kind of the ghost of that tropical wave travels into the Caribbean a long time from now. This one, however, this is Invest 94. It has a much higher chance of becoming a depression. It's probably going to become a depression, I would think, later today more than likely as it moves northwest. So it's going to be moving towards the Lesser Antilles later today. There's Puerto Rico, there's the Dominican Republic, there's Cuba, and notice the chance of development is getting on up there. So it wouldn't get to Cuba, southern Florida until maybe Friday, Saturday. So a long time between here and here, and there's a lot of land in there too that could have influences on what this thing eventually ends up doing. Here's what it looks like this morning. It's much more organized. I will say we get bursts of storms, which is what you need for it to wrap up and to really organize. West-northwest movement, 14 miles an hour. That's likely not going to change much. So wouldn't be surprised if this does become a depression. Maybe Tropical Storm Fred later today or tomorrow. Consensus is between the models. It's going to head northwest regardless. It's got high pressure to the north. It's riding around the edge of that high. The big question with this track is, what are these islands going to do to it? Some of these have some pretty tall mountains, and if this is a weak enough system and it runs into those mountains, it could tear this thing up and really disrupt it. That's one wrench in the forecast. And of course, what it looks like here is going to have an impact on where it's at here. So this is only 5 days out, but notice somewhere generally in here by the weekend. So we'll say on Saturday, and then the big question is on how fast does it turn? Does it get further out into the Gulf or does it turn more quickly? That will all depend on how strong that high pressure is. There's other factors as well, not only the islands. Dry air, wind shear look to be some implications on what this ends up looking at. You're looking at the dry air and moisture here. It looks like some of that dry air could get wrapped up into this, and if it's weak enough, if it gets disrupted enough from that dry air and the mountainous terrain here, it's possible this thing just really dissipates. But at the same time, you know, it's very possible that it continues to move up towards. So we got to watch it. Right now, we are still in the green. These things are a long ways out there. If it ever brings impacts to the northern Gulf Coast, it would not be until maybe early next week. So we still have about a week to keep our eyes on this thing. But it's a reminder that, yes, things are heating up out there. We got to keep an eye on these things. It is August. We're heading into the heart of hurricane season. But in the meantime, we're just hot and humid with the